Who's ready for this breaking news edition of Locked On UCLA? NBA draft style. Let's hit it. We're Locked On UCLA.
You are Locked On UCLA, your daily podcast on the UCLA Bruins. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome, everybody, to the Locked On UCLA podcast, NBA Draft Edition. And while there may or may not be more Bruins selected, I figured why not drop a breaking news episode involving Jaime Jaquez Jr. Because your boy, a beloved Bruin, a graduate of UCLA, is now a member of the Miami Heat, the 18th pick of the NBA draft in 2023. I'm Anderson-Yoxsimer, your host of Locked On UCLA. Subscribe, hit everything, hit all the buttons. This episode is brought to you by Birddogs. Go to birddogs.com/lockedoncollege. They'll throw in a free custom Birddogs Yeti-style tumbler with every order. And while we still await the likes of Jalen Clark and Amari Bailey, to a lesser extent, even a Tiger Campbell and David Singleton for various pro prospects in terms of NBA draft, contracts, summer league, everything in between. I just figured let's highlight Jaime Jaquez Jr., right? The Pac-12 Conference Player of the Year. He gets picked by the Miami Heat, so much so that my eyes are kind of watering as we start this episode. And a deserving pick, someone who may have been thought of early on, maybe early on this year, as a second-round pick for the NBA draft. And then closer to the combine, every time he won these drills, I know I talked in a recent episode, the sliding scale the LA Times had brought upon us was that Jaquez might fall as early as 17, drop to 25, 27 near the end of the first round, where if he was at the 17th pick, all of us LA UCLA fans would have been loving that because he could have been a Laker. Instead, he goes to the NBA Finals runners-up in the Miami Heat. I think an organization that truly fits what Jaquez brings to the table, that grinded-out, tough-minded approach, which is why you see Miami go after him in the first round, where you have a Jimmy Butler, you have all these key cogs, the Heat who were the 8th seed and made it to the finals before falling to the Nuggets. Jaquez, while we would have loved him to see him in the purple and gold for however long that may have been, maybe fits better and fits the culture with what the Miami Heat have brought to the table. I've got dear friends who are beloved, diehard Miami Heat fans, and to see the grit and toughness that Jaime Jaquez Jr. brings, especially with the footwork and everything in between that Jaquez has already, the Bruins will watch one of their earliest draft picks since earlier in 2017. So let's go over when was the last Bruin picked in the top 20 of the NBA draft. Peyton Watson in 2022 was picked in the 30th pick. You've got Jalen Hands, who was picked in 56. Aaron Holiday, over 5 years ago, was picked in the 23rd pick. Welsh in 2018 was the 58th pick. And then you remember Lonzo Ball, who was picked second. And the year before, it was TJ Leaf, or in the same year, I should say, it was TJ Leaf, who was picked at the 18th overall pick. So last time the Bruins had a player picked in 18, they had Leaf, and then they had Ball going at number 2. So it's been quite some time, despite a Ju Zhang and all these other players who came through, took to the Bruins to a Final Four, that they had someone picked as early as they had since Lonzo Ball, and he's currently dealing with injury issues. So overall, while we wait for Amari Bailey and Jalen Clark to see where they head, let's just celebrate Jaime Jaquez Jr., right? As I mentioned before, graduated, a beloved Bruin, Conference Player of the Year, first team All Pac-12, one of the players who was getting listed for All-American, first teams, midseason finalist award. And it's great to see him put in this hard work, scrapping for minutes to start his UCLA career, right? You're going to see Ben Bowles probably put out big feelers, big things as they've been doing every UCLA side, every Bruin, highlighting the love for Jaime Jaquez Jr., that player that will have to grind it out, as they recently wrote in the LA Times over the last week, where he had to earn his minutes. He wasn't someone that was gifted his minutes. He had to grind his way on the court, and not only get on the court, but then earn starting minutes. And not only did he earn those starting minutes, became the best player in the conference on the conference's best team, a part of a Final Four team, helped turn the Bruins around, and now here they are with a first-round pick in Jaquez Jr., who we all just have to smile and thank him for his time as UCLA. And I'll bring it again. I think the Miami Heat is a very good organizational fit for Jaime Jaquez Jr. How that all plays out with the summer league, going through camp and everything, heading into the NBA season, considering it just ended not so long ago, that's to be determined with time. If it's about working hard and fitting in the defensive-minded culture over there with Eric Spoelstra and all the Miami Heat stars, young and maybe a little bit older over there in Florida, Jaquez will fit right in. I'm fairly confident. Defense, just the intellect he brings to the game, that work hard mentality, and every year he's shown to have gotten better in a different aspect of his game. He just has some aspect of a clutch gene and will do whatever he needs to fit as a role player. And it's great to see him rewarded with a first-round NBA contract. And I know we would have loved to see him one more year in a Bruin uniform, but with how early he was picked, it was clear he was not coming back. His sights were set for the NBA, and we congratulate you, Jaime Jaquez Jr. This is a breaking news edition of Locked On UCLA. So if you're wondering, hey, why aren't we talking to Amari Bailey? Why aren't we talking Jalen Clark, snubs, good fits, bad fits? We're going to talk about all that and more in future Locked On UCLA episodes. And hey, there was a flip coming for UCLA football with Chip Kelly flipping a big football recruit from Wisconsin over to UCLA. We're going to talk about all this and more in the upcoming Locked On UCLA episode on June 23rd. So stay tuned for that. We've got all the good stuff with recruiting, NBA draft news and analysis. But hey, Jaquez, salute to you. Thank you very much. This episode, again, was brought to you by Birddogs. And why should I tell you more about Birddogs? Well, Birddogs make you look good. They are stretch khaki shorts designed to fit slimmer through the thigh and your leg to give you a truly sculpted look. They fit way better than regular shorts. Trust me, I do hard work right now with what I'm doing in the humidity, in the summer heat. And when I'm walking around, they fit perfectly around my waist. I don't have to worry about them sliding a little bit too low. No, they're right there, nice and snug. I can put my 30 things, my phone, my wallet, my keys, my sunscreen, everything in my pocket, and they're right snug there. And you feel good while wearing them. You feel good while wearing them. It's an anti-stink sweat fabric in there, so you're going to keep cool, not smell too bad. I know sweat can be pretty terrible during the summers wherever it is on your body, and it makes you not smell as well. Go to birddogs.com/lockedoncollege. Again, birddogs.com/lockedoncollege, and you're not going to want to take your bird dogs off. We promise you. Once again, this has been a breaking news edition of Locked On UCLA NBA Draft Edition, only involving Jaime Jaquez Jr. All analysis and episode news about the NBA draft will come in a full episode on Friday, June 23rd. In the meantime, UCLA fans, hands up, 8 clap time, baby. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. UCLA. UCLA fight, fight, fights. This has been Locked On UCLA. Go Bruins.